Meeple Talk. Hello everyone, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Adam.
And welcome to Meeple Talk. So this is one of what we call sometimes our New to Me series. We've got King of New York. So technically it's not a new game. It was launched in 2014, but we thought, you know what, hey, we're going to give this one a go.
Yes.
Yep.
So, yes, King of New York. You may have played King of Tokyo. This is upgraded, I guess. It's a standalone game.
Yeah.
It's not an expansion. It's just a bigger game. A few more features. A lot of things are the same. A lot of things are different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's another Richard Garfield game. I just read that here. But I knew that. I had to remind myself, what is this guy's name? But he's a very famous designer. Look him up on Board Game Geek. We didn't get paid for that. A little plug. And yeah, so let's take a deeper dive.
Yeah, let's have a look at it.
All right, so this game is all about monsters destroying New York. So here on the board we have a picture of New York, and then we have 6 monsters. Here are some of the monsters that we have here. Draconis, Kong, Sheriff, Captain Fish, and finally we have Mantis and Rob the Robot. So those are all the monsters that you can play. Each monster has a monster card which shows 2 things. How many hearts you have, and that skull means that you're dead. But you'll start at 10. There's actually 11 and 12 there. Certain cards can give you more than 10 hearts. When you lose all your hearts, you're out of the game. And this is the star wheel here, so which starts at 0. And if you get 20 stars, then again, you will win the game. So those are the cards that every player gets. Now the game board shows the different boroughs of New York. We have Manhattan here, and then these 4 other boroughs. Now, if you played King of New York, one player would be in the center and get attacked, and other players would be off the board. In King of New York, the players are not off the board. They're actually in one of these 4 boroughs. And each of these 4 boroughs has buildings. On the other side of the buildings are army units. So you can roll, and particular dice roll, you can flip these over, and then different actions happen. Stephanie will get into that. You have 6 dice, just like in King of Tokyo, with various symbols indicating what will happen when you roll those symbols. We have the energy cubes, which are awesome. And then there's also upgrade cards that you can purchase with the energy cubes. There's a huge deck. Every card is unique. And those upgrades, I'll just give you a couple of examples. Here we have Universal Soldier. This one, it says you can change some or all of your hearts to claws or some of your claws to hearts. So that's a nice card. And here we have Flat Iron Building. Buy this card for 1 energon less if you are in Manhattan, and you'll get 2 stars for that card. That's a discard. A card is either a discard or a keep. And this is how much you have to pay to get the card at the top left. And finally, there are these 2 cards. The game starts with these 2 cards, and these remain in play throughout the game, so these are special cards. And I forgot to mention there's some extra tokens and extra dice that may be used depending on certain card effects that come up. And those are all the components.
Okay, and then when it comes to an actual turn, that's where these dice come in. And as Adam had mentioned earlier, your 2 ways to win. Essentially, you're going to try to destroy all their monsters so that their health goes down to 0. So essentially, fight to the death, or get 20 victory points or stars as you have here. And how are you going to do that? Well, that's with these dice. So everyone's going to be rolling 6, for the most part, 6 dice, and trying to, if you want to, re-roll 3 total rolls in any combination that you like to achieve. And so some of these might look familiar. If you've ever played King of Tokyo, these icons or these images are the same as before. So you want to either damage all other monsters. That's where this claw attack comes into play. If you are damaged, you might want to use hearts to heal. And then these, the little bolts, that's going to indicate the number of energy cubes you're going to earn, which you'll then later use to purchase your cards. Now, these ones are different. So this one indicates your celebrity. If you have enough of these, you might be getting this superstar card, which is going to help you gain more victory points as long as you keep them. You'll have these destruction dice, and this is what you use to actually attack all the buildings in the different boroughs. When you do attack, the number on the bottom right corner indicates the amount of durability, how many of these rolls you'll need to defeat a certain building, and you get the reward as indicated on the other corner as well. When it is destroyed, it now turns into the army unit, because all of a sudden, well, people notice New York is going to get destroyed, so they're going to send in the army to try to defend. So you, as a monster, will also want to take these guys out. Again, the different levels of difficulty will indicate the type of reward you're going to get. Now, when you roll these, you can, as I said, choose any combination that you hope will suit your needs. If you are a monster, if you're in your particular burrow, and let's say, now why these buildings are important as well, is that this new one here, it's called the Ouch. And whenever you roll these, depending on the number that you have rolled, you will either have the units attack you specifically in your burrow, all monsters in your particular burrow, or if you roll 3 or more, all the burrows, the units are going to attack the monsters that are in their particular burrows. So in most instances, you do not want to roll this, but it may come in handy, especially if you're going to be taking advantage of this Statue of Liberty card. So read up on that a little bit. Once you have done your rolls, you can resolve the dice in any order, because depending on what order you choose, that may help or put you at a disadvantage. Also, once those are done, if you've collected any energy cubes, you will then be able to buy any of your upgrade cards, and then your monster has the ability to move. Your monster can flee if you did a lot of destruction but didn't have a chance to destroy your units. You can flee to another burrow that has fewer army units, or in the exception where, either in the first turn, where Manhattan is empty, or if another monster has left and there's empty or available space in Manhattan, you now enter into Manhattan. Now, to be a little bit, I guess, fairer to the person who's now in Manhattan, as you progress with every turn, your level of reward is going to increase, so the longer you stay, the better off you're going to be. As with original King of Tokyo, when you're in Manhattan, the damage you do is going to go towards the other monsters. All their damage is going to go towards you. There might be 2 monsters, depending on the number of players that you have participating at any given time. And that's pretty much generally the gameplay.
All right.
And welcome back!
Mm-hmm. So,
yes.
What did we think of this game?
Thoughts happened.
What? What?
No, but in general, much like the original game, King of Tokyo, it's a fun group game that someone who doesn't have a lot of gaming experience, it's easy. You just pick up dice, roll, get whatever combinations you want. It's very, very portable. It's a little more messing this up in the sense that doing the tile shuffling and laying out, it will take a little more time to do. And the nice thing too, it's meant as a standalone game. It's not really meant as an expansion to the original, but a lot of the elements that are the same, like the different monsters and these hit point, health, and victory point cards, they're just like the original game. So if you had a favorite monster from the previous one, you can import it to this one. Doesn't matter. Doesn't change the gameplay at all. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Yeah. What I have found is a little bit different is that it could potentially prolong the playing of the game. Games can last a little bit longer, but it also, I find, changes your strategy on how you want to attack. So, for example, in the original game, you essentially had attack, victory points. You may have a favorite path. You might love destroying people and just go, and just want to go with that. That's this guy here. I know, exactly. This way, you don't really have the same chance to pick your favorite method and just run with it. You are going to be finding that you're going to be damaging people either with the ouch dice as well as the attack, or the victory points through the different cards or dice rolls or just other various ways. So you find that you might not have your go-to move anymore. You're probably going to be spreading a little bit thin. So it does change the feel of the game and how you identify with your monster and their version or their mode of operation. So that's just what I found is a little bit different in the feel.
Yeah. My feeling of the game is that it's even more thematic than King of Tokyo. And I loved King of Tokyo. I thought it was a beautiful, really simple, elegant game. And this is the same game with some added gameplay. I really love the idea that now you have a city and you have all these buildings and they're actually destroying buildings.
And the army's coming in.
Yeah, and then the army and you have the tanks and stuff. So it's just like the movies, you feel even more immersed into it. I really like that. One change that at first I didn't really like it so much is that in the original game, there's a lot of cards that give you more claws, allow you to do more damage. And in this new deck, I think I only found maybe 2 cards that do that.
It seems a little more victory point heavy, I think.
Yes, but the reason for that is because often you'll roll these ouch dice, which will allow the army to attack you in your burrows, and you can use that to your advantage, moving away from a burrow that has a lot of army in it, and then trying to roll these so other players will get hit by the army. So I really like that. I think it is definitely. It's hard to say it's an improvement because I really, really like King of Tokyo, but this game is a little bit fuller, but not too much longer. It's not like an hour and a half game. It's still a quick game. I'd give it maybe an extra 5 minutes per player, maybe. I would say that's the addition. A little bit more setup. So it goes from a super tight light game to a light to middle game, but you could still play it as a filler game.
Yeah, and I was just going to agree what you were saying earlier about the ouch dice is that it gives you a little bit of incentive to do actual self-harm because depending if other people are weaker in your burrow, it might actually work out. You take that risk, it may pay off.
Yes.
So I think one of the things that we were talking about earlier is similar to original King of Tokyo is that there's not a lot of negatives, but one of them that could be is the sitting factor for someone who gets knocked out early.
Yes.
Because the length of the game could be short or long, you could just potentially be like, I got really nothing to do now, and so...
So that's a little bit more of a negative than it was for the original game. Like for the original game, for me, a 3-player is perfect for that game because if you get knocked out early, well, it's only going to last 10 or 15 minutes, right? And then you can play the game over and over and over and you'll be like, oh, I got destroyed. Play again. Got destroyed. Play again. Might win. So this game's a little bit longer, so that's a little bit more of a negative. But on the other hand, it has all this other cool stuff that doesn't overburden the game, doesn't make it too complex. I think it enhances the game and enhances the theme of the game, enhances the gameplay, and it's the same game which I love, and it's even better. And they have these 2 extra cards, which make it interesting. I don't know if I'm positive or negative on those 2 extra cards. I think they're just kind of neutral.
I never really went for them myself.
Yeah, they don't help or hurt the game. They're just kind of there and something you can do.
Yep.
So,
but overall, the feel, they maintain the same feel of it. They maintain the same level of fun. And so because of the ease of play for people who are new or old to gaming, it's just a good one, especially when you've got a mixed crowd. So I definitely say, you know what, give this one a go. Yes. And if you have original King of Tokyo, this is a good addition. Or if you just want this as a standalone, go for it.
Yeah, you can switch out the monsters, which is really, really nice.
Kinda cool. Exactly.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, if you've never played King of Tokyo, this is a really awesome game. You really mix it up. There's a lot of memorable moments. There's a lot of maybe cliffhangers, but like really dramatic moments where you're like, oh, if I could just roll this one die and then I could destroy you and then I can get health and then depending on the order of how you do things, there's all kinds of epic moments in this game, which just puts it way head and shoulders above a lot of other games where you play them and they're okay. This game is
especially
really, really fun.
Especially for being a dice game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't mind the one negative of people getting knocked out early, which I think is significant, other than that, this game is all positives, all good. I love it, and I highly recommend it.
Excellent. I couldn't say it any better. So thank you so much for watching, and come check out our other reviews. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.